Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Moonshiners Racing presented by Depot Street Sports. I'm your host, Michael Rizzo. I'm joined with Zachary Kendall and Aiden Fortney this week. Guys, how are we doing after a weekend racing at Pocono?
Not too bad. Bit of a more boring week for racing, I'd say. I think the luster of San Diego coming next weekend kind of pulled away some hype for Pocono this year. But yeah, it was a busy week for me. Uh, Not too bad of a race overall. We'll dive more into that. Yeah, I think pretty solid weekend. Just this weekend kind of sucked the life out of it a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard not to see the schedule and see San Diego's this upcoming weekend and not look past what Pocono was, because Pocono was its usual self, really. And veteran experience definitely paid big dividends for the winners. And all around, I'm doing fairly good. All the weather that we were supposed to get, all the heavy weather, really kind of avoided my area as well. So that was nice. And yeah, I'm here to talk NASCAR.
Yeah, those of you who are watching are probably really confused why we're recording this on a Thursday and not a Wednesday, like as usual. Yeah, the storms that came on by yesterday, we had no idea. At least for us here in Indiana, the three of us talking this week, uh, had no idea if we would have power, if we would be down in our basements or wherever it is during all these tornado outbreaks. For me, it went all south of me, which meant it went right towards Aiden. So. But overall, we're all good, and we're here ready to talk all things NASCAR with you guys. But yeah, I had a pretty good week.
I
Yeah, go for
I
it.
actually I got nothing.
Yeah, another. You got even further south than you too.
Yeah, but like we got heavy rain. That was it. We didn't even get hail. We didn't get a tornado one, and we didn't get anything.
Dang, yeah,
I
I
think
was.
I think I'm further north than you're thinking I am.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're like around Indy, right?
No, I'm like 30 minutes from Indy, north of
Okay.
Indy. If
All
you
right. Well,
uh, okay, if anyone ever wanted to know what town I live in, find a map of Indiana, put your finger directly in the middle between Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, and that's my hometown.
all right. There we go. That's where Aiden lives, guys. But anyway, let's move on and talk all things NASCAR and Pocono. Denny Hamlin gets the three wins in a row, and gets the win at Pocono. Did not intend for that to rhyme, but hey, it did. Guys, thoughts on the Pocono race? Thoughts on Denny Hamlin? The strategy there at the end, and just the overall race.
I thought it was. I didn't think it was nothing special of a Pocono race. I thought it was a pretty normal, minute Pocono race. Denny Hamlin gets the win. That's his eighth win here. Ninth win in total. He got DQ'd once. So he's the king at this track. Not to mention, this track really leans on veterans per se. It's not, you don't normally see young drivers win this race. It's more or less the veteran guys that have been around the sport for a long time that win this race, unless you're Ryan Blaney and are just like that. Yeah, it's a veteran based racetrack, especially with the fuel strategy and all. Denny Hamlin played it perfectly. He got the win. Like I mentioned, he's won here 7 other times. He got his first career win here. He swept both Pocono races, his rookie season in the Cup Series. He's just incredible. Pocono is probably his best track, and when he's been on a tear like he has been, I mean, was there any doubt? We all said it ourselves that Joe Gibbs was going to be the class of the field, and I think we were all more referring to Denny Hamlin. I think we all picked Denny Hamlin, unfortunately, ahead of time, so we couldn't pick him. But if anyone had Denny Hamlin still on the table and just didn't pick him for today's race, they are dumb.
Yeah, no, Denny Hamlin was. I mean, he was outstanding. He's been on one hell of a heater right now. And yeah, I mean, he's just really good. He's just unstoppable right now. He had that slow start to the year. Tyler Reddick dominated that portion of the year. Tyler Reddick is kind of, I wouldn't say taking a back seat, but it's like everyone else is caught up to him and what the 45 has, kind of. But the only one who's caught up and kind of passed him is Denny Hamlin. And he's only, like 15, 18 points behind him in the standings. So Denny Hamlin is just on a roll right now. Now, that roll is going to stop here because we're going to 2 road courses, and he hasn't done anything on road courses since, 2019 probably. So, yeah, but he's been on a heater. He's very good. But yeah, I'll give it to Zachary before it comes back to me here.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys. I had a phone call with my brother. I had to get, so I had to step away there for a second. But yeah, Hamlin, the king of Pocono. I mean, what else is there to say? He has the most wins here at this track with 8. I think that's like 2 more than the next guy, which is Jeff Gordon. I think with 6. So yeah, I mean, it's just absolute masterclass by Hamlin and that 11 team. They're just on a roll right now. And similar to what happened with Reddick earlier in the year, where nothing could seem like someone could beat Reddick, not even SGG at Coda, where he's the road course king. He lost to Reddick there. So, yeah, it's just an all-around great performance by Hamlin. And, we move on, and hopefully he can look past these next 2 weeks because it's going to be definitely looking up afterwards because he's just the best on ovals apparently now.
Yeah, those DJR Toyotas are on a heater, and that being Denny Hamlin specifically, just all around, just your to me, just normal Pocono race. And I think all 4 of us last week, we all said, yeah, when it came to predictions, like this is going to be your normal Pocono race. It's going to come down to strategy. Someone's going to try to do something different. They're going to try to stretch it on fuel. That happened to be Christopher Bell. He ran out of fuel with 1 lap to go, finished 26th. I mean, I feel like every single Pocono race, it's a rinse, wash, and repeat. It's always the same outcome. And usually the car that, you expect to win that going into that weekend, more than likely, they're winning that race just because they hit all the boxes, they check all the boxes, cross all their T's, dot their I's, and they get the job done. They may have a questionable strategy call late in the end by somebody. They may spoil it like Chase Briscoe did last year, but this year it was
unless you're Ryan Blaney,
normal.
you're just built different.
Yeah, that too. Always count on Aiden talking about Ryan Blaney when he's was non-existent in this race. Anyway, let's move on to the O'Reilly Series race.
Non-existent. He was running like top 5 the entire day.
Yeah, but he was like just there. Like he never contended other than
that's the point. 5. That is Ryan Blaney. What's the point of him at this point?
I guess you say Penske right now.
We need Ford representation. Throw Ryan Blaney in there, I guess.
Alrighty. Well, let's move on to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race. Just like Denny Hamlin winning in the Cup Series, that being normal, Justin Allgaier wins in the O'Reilly Series. It's same old, guys. Thoughts on this race and thoughts on Justin Allgaier getting yet another win?
I mean, we don't even have to mention the race. We can just mention the point standings. Still 250 points. Wait, wasn't it like that last week? NASCAR might not have it updated. No, it wasn't. Okay. 250,
not that big.
Yeah. 250 point lead over second place Jesse Love. It's actually insane. He has 5 wins. Jesse Love obviously has 0. Corey Day has 2. Sheldon has 1. Like, no one's touching this guy yet. It's kind of unbelievable. We're starting to get into the territory of, like, if he doesn't win the championship, he had to have had a complete and utter collapse. Because now we're getting to the point of the season where it's like, okay, you have to win the championship now. And if that makes sense, I mean, you got this much success, you got this much of a points lead. Now, granted, I know that's going to disappear the second we get into the chase. But remember, there's no resets after that. So you can with, rebuild that lead all over again. And with how good he has been this season, I mean, he can easily do that. He can make this boring and win the championship almost a whole race before the season actually ends, if the cards fall right for him. Not to mention now Jesse Love, we're going to get into it later, kind of has his focused on other things right now. So yeah, that could just grow even further for Justin Allgaier. Almost said Jesse Love for some reason.
Yeah, the best thing that happened this past weekend was, for Allgaier at least, that his competition that was at least close enough to him in the points, they weren't really that close to begin with, but they were second and third and both crashed out on the first lap of the race. And then he ended up winning the race. So he got basically max points above his competition that was in second and third with Love and Corey Day. And, yeah, you said it, like a 250-point lead sounds mind-boggling at this point because they still have like over 7 races left to go in their schedule before, we get to that chase run to the title. But it's just crazy that he has this big of a lead. And this is going to prove, like, on one side, you got the Cup where it's Reddick and Hamlin, obviously the 2-horse battle right there. But on this side, it's Allgaier and really nobody else that's touching him so far. This was a good compromise, obviously, between both formats where you have added benefit of you winning a race, obviously, but still you have to run good throughout the entire whatever like schedule run you were in. So at those last like 6 races or 7 races that you have in the O'Reilly series, definitely need to show up for those two because his point lead is going to be going away, at least like 225 points. He's only going to have a 25-point lead over second when that starts. But the good news for him is that there's no road courses in that. The only wild card, really, I think, is Talladega. So he needs to get through that one. And then otherwise, it's on tracks that he normally specializes at and is really good at, and JRM is really good at. So Allgaier, just, being the veteran that he is, again, he's just piling up stats. That's all he's doing so far is 5 wins, career tied, I think, the amount of wins in a single season so far. He could obviously, I think he's going to top that before the season's over with. But, it's a great run for him in that 7 team. And, it's kind of what you kind of expected. Maybe not to this level of dominance, but just he's kicking everybody's ass every single weekend, seems like, on Saturdays.
He absolutely is kicking everyone's ass on Saturdays. And, last year you had Connor Zilic, who had 10 wins last year. Those 10 wins were going to go to somebody. And so far, a lot of them are going to Jesse Love, going to Justin Allgaier. And, I mean, it's not even halfway point of the season yet, and he's already at 5, and it's the most wins he's had in the season. I think he could double it. I think he could get to 12 wins. If he continues the tear that he's on, he could get to 12 wins in a season. I really do believe it. The thing is, he always, every single year, even when he's at his peak, there's always a peak Justin Allgaier moment in the season where you're like, all right, he's unbeatable. And then he just, like, continuously just, like, takes 1 step forward and like 3 steps back. There's a point in the season where he just keeps stepping on his own foot and keeps falling forward. And then it comes to the championship race, deciding race, and then he either loses it because of the pressure or whatnot. And this, with this points system, I mean, he's definitely at an advantage. I mean, he's going to be the number 1 seed unless something drastic happens. He's going to have that 25-point lead. Is he going to, like, have those like blow up moments in the chase that he's had in the past? I mean, yeah, the year that he won the championship 2 years ago, what was it? He had a pit road penalty, a flat tire, like he had a whole bunch of stuff that went wrong, and he ended up still winning the championship, which was, one hell of a feat within itself. But I feel like in this situation, if RCR and Jesse Love figure things out, or Corey Day could figure things out in his ride, and Justin Allgaier has those kind of blips on the radar, I think they could catch him. But at this current moment right now, there's no one touching him. Like, he's in a different stratosphere right now. And I mean, what it was a couple months ago, earlier this year, where we were talking about, is Justin Allgaier a Hall of Fame driver, even being in O'Reilly series? a feeder series to the Cup Series. And we all said, yeah, he needs like, I don't know, like 12 more wins, something like that, and another championship, and he might get that. I mean, that's what I was saying. He needs
Who
another
said
championship.
that?
I said something like he
Who
needs a
said
couple more.
that?
I did. I literally did. I said he needs another championship and like 10 more wins. And at that point, he had 3 wins on the season.
I don't think I answered that really. I don't think I think I remember that correctly. Is like I pitched that idea, that question, and onto this because it was like blowing up at the time. And I don't think I actually answered that, whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. Obviously, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet, obviously, because he's only, what is he, 5th all time in the O'Reilly series and the top 4 guys.
Third. I thought he was third all time.
Oh, heck no. Like Harvick's 3rd and he has like 47. So he has some time to get there, but I'm just saying, like right now, currently, I wouldn't put him in because he's only 5th all time, and again, he only has 1 title. So you are right. If he gets multiple titles, I think 2 more, then you could talk about it. But otherwise, I wouldn't put him in there. Still a great O'Reilly series driver.
I get it. I just wanted to bring that one back up because we talked about it a little while ago, trying to tie it back in. Anyway, let's move on and talk about the point standings. Moving to the news around the garage. Point standings here for the Cup Series. And, of course, I don't have it loaded up. All right. Of course, at the top of the standings is Tyler Reddick. Closely behind now is Denny Hamlin. 3rd, Ryan Blaney. 4th, Chase Elliott. 5th, Ty Gibbs. 6th, Kyle Larson. 7th, Chris Buescher. 8th, Daniel Suarez. 9th, Carson Hocevar. 10th, Christopher Bell. 11th, William Byron. 12th, Chase Briscoe. 13th, Bubba Wallace. 14th, SVG. 15th, Eric Jones. 16th, Austin Cindric. And 17th, the first car out, Brad Keselowski. 18th, Joey Logano. 19th, Ryan Preece. And 20th, Michael McDowell. Guys, taking a look at these point standings, give me 3 drivers you would like to talk about.
Yeah, the first guy I'm going to steal from everyone because I think everyone wants to talk about him, and that's Eric Jones. Eric Jones is now 15th in points. I remember when he was like 24th in points to start the year. This wasn't like immediately after Daytona, he was 14th to 24th in points. No, this was, I want to say like 5 races in, he was 24th in points, somewhere around there. Now he has clawed his way up into the chase. He's actually tied with, not Briscoe, he's tied with Cindric right now in the 16th spot. He is plus 4 points ahead of Brad Keselowski. He's been running phenomenal. Legacy Motor Club as a whole is running phenomenal. I know there for a little bit we were all moaning and groaning over John Hunter Nemechek doing some stupid stuff, but even he's starting to have a few decent finishes. Recently, he led a lot of laps at Pocono. He led the most laps for Legacy Motor Club since Legacy Motor Club at Watkins Glen in 2012, which is a race they won. Crazy enough, it was Marcus Ambrose too, not like Eric Almirola or Bubba Wallace or any of those guys. It was, or Brian Scott. Remember Brian Scott for 1 year in 2016? Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Next guy I wanted to talk about. I really want to talk about Joey Logano. Logano, he looked good there for a while. Sitting in the 16th position, and he kind of looked at the recent races we've had, Pocono, he won at Nashville, he's won at Michigan, he's good, he's won at Pocono, Charlotte's one of his better tracks, and he has been a dud and has fallen to 18th in points, way outside the cut line. He is 21 points out now. So he's really fallen off, and unfortunately, he's not a good road course driver. He really hasn't been his entire career. Even in Joey Logano's prime, he was not a good road course driver. So, yeah, it could just get way worse for him. And The next guy I want to point out, still, I guess, Ross Chastain in 23rd. He had a good race at Pocono, and he's been doing a little bit better, but is he going to run out of time? We don't have a lot of more races left. We're running out of races towards the end of the regular season. Will he have enough time to make it back into the points? I don't know. I like to see him like continue to put together these good runs just to see, if he can, and see that battle of him trying to fight his way back in right at the end of the year. And I'm telling you, like, this chase battle for the last probably 2 spots of the chase, it has, right now we got about 5 to 6 drivers fighting for 2 spots, and I think it's going to be really exciting to see how that spot shapes up towards the end of the year.
Well, that's true, and we certainly could have some new characters involved after these next 2 weeks. I'm going to focus in on one guy that we all expect to earn a lot of points these next 2 weeks, and that's Shane Van Gisbergen here in 14th. This is the area, the part of the schedule that he was definitely circling, his whole team was circling, because wins pay a lot more, obviously, now. 60 points, and that's more, like 15 points more than second place. And, as we expected, sure, San Diego is new to everybody. He's never driven this track before, but neither has anybody else. And he's been kicking everyone's butt on tracks that they've been to before him and have a lot more experience than him. Talking about Watkins Glen, talking about Sonoma. He's won on those, and he's dominated on those tracks. So why couldn't he do it here at San Diego? I feel like he's obviously the driver to be in the catbird seat so far these next 2 weeks, because he can earn a lot of points over his competition and jump from 14th to like 10th and to get himself away from this kind of bubble. The next guy to highlight, he's a couple spots ahead of him, or not actually a couple spots. He's actually 1 spot ahead of him, and that's Bubba Wallace. That's Rizzo's guy. It's been a long time, a long stigma about him, about how he's not very good on these type of tracks. He actually has improved somewhat on these tracks, actually, the last couple of years. But having these type of courses back to back could be detrimental to that 23 team, because they haven't been running like they probably should. Fortunate for some bad luck, obviously, guy in the way to potentially getting them better finishes, and he wouldn't be back here so far. But he lost two spots in the standings this past weekend at Pocono, and now going to San Diego and Sonoma. The next 2 weeks, you need to minimize the damage. If you can get stage points in any of these stages, do so, because if you don't get the finishes that you obviously probably would want, then you need to find a way to get points any way you can, because points is at a premium, especially when you're not going to, obviously you think you're going to be in position to win the race. So get those stage points, because being in 13th is not very satisfying, or you definitely be worried about it, because he definitely is. He's probably just like about a race ahead of the 16th driver, I would say. Yeah, he's like 30 points. So I'm not looking at it. I'm not doing the math in my head. But yeah, Bubba Wallace. And then the next guy and the final guy I got to look at here, and it's the guy that I had in the chase. He was in it not too long ago, but he's been in a bit of a rut. That's Ryan Preece here, back in 19th place. Yeah, that 60 team is just, they've lost something. They've lost the morale. They lost those 25 points after Texas with that penalty, and then ever since then they've ran into some unfortunate luck where he ran over a brake rotor at Nashville, blew the engine out of it, ended up having to sit in the garage, obviously not finish the race, and finish like dead last. And then after that, he's been caught up in wrecks, and just overall, just not a lot of speed out of that 60 group. The only guy that really is doing anything in the RFK recently has been Chris Buescher. But unfortunately, again, you still have a few amount of races. You have Daytona at the end too, because Daytona is a wild card and anyone can win there. But I don't want to put all my eggs in the basket, obviously, to go out and perform at Daytona, because you don't know when the big wreck's going to happen. It could happen on lap 1. It could happen in the last lap of the race, in the last turn. So, Ryan Preece, you are a solid driver, okay? I think RFK is behind you. They've already said it, that they will probably run next year with you in the 60 group without a charter, and you'll be fine because they back you 100%. But it's time for you to turn around and find them that lost momentum that you have obviously, again, lost. And hopefully, you can do that real soon because, time's a ticking.
All right, guys, I'm going to go with the first driver I want to talk about is Brad Keselowski. Currently 17th, the first car out of the playoffs. So the playoffs will start this week. This guy, he's been on a Zach did mention Brad. My bad. I texted Aiden, like, hey, did you mention Brad? And during me texting him that, he was talking about Brad, and I was totally not looking. All right, but anyway, yeah, you guys mentioned everyone I really want to talk about. All the guys that were on the bubble that these next couple of weeks are really important for them. I guess I'll talk about a different one that we haven't talked about, that being Michael McDowell. I feel like these next two races could be pretty big for him in that Spire team. Obviously, both of his teammates are top 10 in the point standings as they currently stand. But Michael McDowell, he's kind of that third driver right now, that third car in the stable. And he shows up at some tracks, doesn't show up a lot, but if he's going to show up anywhere, it's going to be these next two tracks. I wouldn't be shocked if he's running top 5, top 3, even challenging for a win. This weekend, I look at Michael McDowell possibly a guy to spoil the show. Maybe he jumps up a couple spots. Ryan Preece is struggling. Joey Logano's been struggling. Brad Keselowski is struggling. All these guys are struggling. And if you could just stay consistent around the top 15 towards the end here while everyone else is having those issues, he's just going to start inching his way forward towards the cut line. Another guy I want to talk about, Zane Smith. He's been running pretty well these last couple of weeks. And then last week, as he was running, I think in the top, 10, was it? And then he wrecks. He was running towards the top half of the top 10. He's been on it these last couple of weeks. That 38 car has found something, and just, of course, once they found something bad goes wrong for that 38 team. I really don't believe that the train here, that 38 ride of Zane Smith is going to stop. I think that he's going to continue riding this momentum. He has won on road courses before in the Truck Series. I don't know how he's ran in the Cup Series when it comes to road courses, but I do think that he could continue this momentum forward. I know he did have the crash, but they've been riding pretty well here, and I think he can continue it. And then the last guy I really want to talk about here, that being Christopher Bell. It's been announced that he will have a standby driver, that being, and of course I say that and I blank out on his name, who is the standby driver, Aiden? Why am I blanking on his name?
It's Brent Cruz.
Brent Cruz. There we go. Thank you, Zachary. Yes, Brent Cruz is going to be the standby driver. Obviously, driving the 19 Toyota in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Next up-and-coming driver. If that happens, and if he needs to step in the ride, what happens with Christopher Bell in the point situation here? Obviously, he has the left fractured wrist. It's going to be pretty tough these next 2 weeks for him. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a start and park situation where he'll start the first couple laps and then give the ride over to Brent Cruz. I don't know. I really don't know what we're going to see. Maybe it's just interesting to see what could go on here. Obviously, last week at Pocono, he was running top. I think he was running pretty bad. And then he had that strategy. Tried staying out and then lost fuel, ran out of fuel in the last lap, obviously finishing 26th. Not a good point stay for him there. So what will happen these next 2 weeks with that wrist injury? All right.
I also wanted to ask, when was the last time we had a substitute driver fill in for a guy?
Last year.
Last year? Wait.
Yeah, when Denny Hamlin did not go to Mexico. It was Ryan Truex.
Oh, Ryan Truex started the whole race, though. I'm talking started the race.
Like a start and park kind of situation?
Yeah. Last guy I remember was Tony Stewart 2016 when Ty Dillon got in the car at Talladega.
I feel like Zachary knows this one.
Technically, he had to sit out, and he never even, got any points, obviously. But the last, substitute driver, is Alex Bowman with like when it was like Myatt Snyder at Coda when he had to
Oh,
relieve
yeah.
him. And then afterwards it was obviously Alfredo, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, we completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. That's the point standing. Let's move on and talk about Chris Buescher being renewed for the 17 car for RFK. There was rumors that other Ford teams were looking to sign him, and all those rumors were put to bed. He is staying at RFK in the 17 Ford. Guys, thoughts on this signing?
I feel like we entertained the idea because it was fun. It was a fun, cool idea, I guess. He really wasn't going to go anywhere else. I feel like we all knew that he was still going to be at RFK. I thought he'd be an idiot if he did go anywhere else. I mean, the only Ford car better than him is Ryan Blaney in the 12, and we know he's not going anywhere, so why switch over to a worse Ford car? So, yeah, doesn't really surprise me. Think we all knew that this one was going to happen. It's great for Buescher, great for RFK. It's just a win-win for all of them.
He just fits over there. Like even like in his short stint with Front Row, even though he won a race at Pocono, like he didn't really fit over there. I felt like because obviously, if you remember all those years ago, he was racing in the Nationwide Series back when it was called the Nationwide Series, and obviously they've gone through several name changes. Anyway, that's besides the point. He was racing for Roush in that 60 car and beat Chase Elliott for the championship in 2015. So he's had some. He had a good run, obviously, in that Roush car in the Nationwide Series, but Roush at the time didn't have a spot open for him really, or they didn't want to kick anybody out of their stable currently they had driving for them yet. So he moves over to Front Row to go Cup racing, and then a few years go by, he switches rides with Stenhouse, and he's been remaining there solid and steady, and he's been there obviously way before Brad Keselowski showed up, and when he did show up, Brad recognized who he is and who the franchise driver really is there currently, and it's Buescher, and it's not even close really, okay, because he has 5 wins with Roush the last 4 years, as opposed to Brad, who only has 1 win in his time there. Ryan Preece's only win came at a non-points event with the clash at Bowman Gray. So it makes perfect sense for them to lock him up long term. And, like Aiden said, like he's the second best Ford driver, obviously, that Ford has. So you can't afford to lose him, really, because, again, Ryan Blaney is carrying the Ford flagship, and that ain't even close. But Buescher solidly there and still in the top 10. Hey, can't lose him, and it's a good thing for RFK to lock him up again, because I do think he is a pretty good driver, pretty decent driver. He'll take care of his equipment and go home with some like 12th to 13th place finishes every single week, and potentially even better than that. So good on Buescher and RFK to get this thing done.
Yeah, it was. I mean, everyone knew he was going to stay. Like, sure, there was rumors and rumblings that he was going to leave, but like you guys both said, like, I mean, it was kind of like he's not going to leave. He's RFK's guy. He's been RFK's guy since when was it? 2015 when he won the Nationwide Series championship way back when. Sure, he got leased out to a couple other teams, but he's always been their guy. And it would have been weird seeing him anywhere else. But yeah, not shocking move here. Now, what is going to be shocking is what they do in the situation with that 60 car. It's Ryan. I mean, I know they keep saying, yes, we're going to keep Ryan Preece. We're going to keep that 60 car open if it's the open car. So I'll be interested to see what happens there. Next thing up on the docket, that would be the news that we've been delaying here, that being Jesse Love will go to the 21 Wood Brothers Ford. I feel like this has been a pretty, bad kept secret the last couple of weeks here. What was it? DBC said earlier this week, the fans are gonna love who's gonna be in that 21 car next year. And I mean, come on, it's pretty much written on the wall there. Jesse Love gets this ride. Last week we obviously had some conversation about whether or not this ride is legit, like a legit proven ride or not. Like, it hasn't been good since Ryan Blaney. It hasn't been consistent since Ryan Blaney. Now we're going to see Jesse Love in this car. Guys, thoughts on this move for Jesse?
I understand why Jesse Love took the ride. I feel like the writing could be on the wall now for the 33 car. They could keep Austin Hill in that ride for next season as well. And if they're doing that, uh, I don't think this is a bad move for Jesse Love. I mean, he definitely wants to like race in the Cup Series. He thinks he's Cup ready. I think he's Cup ready. He remember he's still a champion now. Granted, a lot of people put an asterisk next to that championship, but he's still a championship. Like he's still like beat people when the moment mattered to win the championship. I know he hasn't won this year. He's won races before. I think he's ready personally. Now, as much as we question whether or not this is a legit ride, I can't deny though that this is probably one of the better rides that he can get. Obviously, front row might release Gregson. We don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know what's happening with Bowman, but I think they're going to stick with Bowman. Outside of that, though, there's not much wiggle room per se. It is interesting to say the least. I mean, we already harped on it. We're not 100% sure how good this 21 team is. Really, it feels like just a developmental ride for Penske at this point. When Ryan Blaney had pit crew issues, they got a new Jackman from the 21 team. They took him from there. Austin Cindric's new crew chief came from the 21 car. That's just how it's been treated. We'll just plug whatever we got over there, put in the JV guys over there, and if they're good enough and want to move up to varsity, let's put them in a real ride kind of deal. It sucks to say, honestly, because the Wood Brothers is the oldest race team in NASCAR right now. They've been around for decades. They have a decorated history, obviously over 100 wins in total in the Cup Series, which is something a lot of NASCAR teams cannot say they have. But that's just unfortunately how it is right now for the 21 car.
Yeah, I think anyone that looks at the situation is just like, sure, Jesse Love is a fine prospect. Obviously, has he been lighting the world on fire like Connor Zilch did last year? No. Was he the champion last year? Yes, he was. Is he still a fine prospect? Again, yes, he is. But again, and I've pointed it out too in the past week, is that I don't think what happens with the Wood Brothers is a driver issue. I mean, sure, are they been able to plug in the best drivers that you could possibly have in those rides? Obviously, no, because Harrison Burton was rushed to the Cup Series because he had sponsorship, because they needed it, and it was a 25th to 30th, mainly 30th place team every single week. Besides that one win at Daytona, and it's Daytona. Josh Berry, again, stable veteran, complete opposite of Harrison Burton. He's much older, more experienced, obviously just driving late models in the O'Reilly series as well with Junior Motorsports. And he goes in there and wins that race at Vegas. But other than that, you don't really hear from him basically at all the rest of the year, and then flames out completely in the playoffs. And again, this is without question, Ryan Blaney has been their best driver the last 10 years. He went to the round of 8 in this car. He won at Pocono again against prime Kevin Harvick, past Kyle Busch to end up getting the lead and then eventually win. So he's been their best driver. And then afterwards, they had Paul Menard, consistent driver. Again, takes care of his equipment. Finished 19th in the points both years. He was in the ride. Then they had Matt DiBenedetto, who did end up making the playoffs with the car on points. But then afterwards was the first driver out, obviously, and then they went the sponsorship route. But yeah, you look at the totem pole over it. They are supposed to be a Penske aligned team, and that car is built in the Penske shop. But let's be honest here. Obviously, we all know it's the 4th car in that totem pole. It's obviously the 12 is on the top, and then the 22 and the 2 are basically switched, can flip flop each week, and then the 21 is obviously 4th. Now, I do think that this is an opportunity for Jesse Love to grow with this team because it is a multi-year deal. But they're gonna have to do something again. It's similar to what's gonna happen with RCR. I feel like what needs to happen with RCR and the Wood brothers is that these are teams that have been around for a very long time. Obviously, they make up a good bulk of the NASCAR history. But in the modern day, when it comes to the modern day, Hendrick and Joe Gibbs and Penske have leapfrogged you, and you got these rising teams like 2311 and Inspire Motorsports that are flexing their muscles currently. What are you going to do to potentially overhaul and get yourselves upwards towards that competitive field to be around that, at least around the chase bubble? Because they're not even doing that currently. So they got to be around there. They got to take some steps. Jesse Love is a good first step, I feel like, towards that because I do think he's a solid driver. It is going to take him some time to learn the next gen car. You got to be able to run with the hardships that he's going to, come across because, again, you're seeing with Connor Zilch currently with his rookie year from hell that it is going to take some time. And, again, similar to it happens with every single young driver, it seems like, gets in this car. Corey Haim's gotten in this car from some spot starts, and he's told about it. He's made some mistakes. That's not really typical of him because the next-gen car is so hard to drive. Ty Gibbs has been in top equipment for 4 years now, and we're just seeing it now that he can finally run up front and finish in the top 10. So, all in all, it's not just Jesse Love. It's obviously a sum of their parts. But, again, I think Jesse Love is a good opportunity. And what do you know? The way the NASCAR development pipeline works, he's gone from Toyota and ARCA to Chevrolet and the O'Reilly Series to now Ford in the Cup Series. So, whatever path you choose, could be wacky, could be wild, but, he wants to go cup racing, and I'm wishing all the best for him.
Yeah, I think this is I mean, it's the best it's the best ride, I guess you could say, available besides the 48. And I don't think he was ever going to get the 48. But to me, like, I think the 21's a good ride. It's just the stability of the 21. You have no stability there. If you do not pan out in 2 years, they get rid of you. That's exactly what they've done with everyone in that ride. The only person who left on their own accord was Paul Menard because he wanted to retire from full-time racing. And that was after 2 years. To me, I just feel like he has he's going to be in this ride for 2 years. We have seen that it takes 100 races for a driver to finally understand this car at this point and win a race. He's raced probably, I want to say, 4 starts in the Cup Series. So after 2 years, he will not get to that 100 race mark. And how Penske has treated this 21 team is pretty much it's the guys that they don't want with their premier 3 cup teams, that being the 2, the 22, and the 12. This is who that team is made of. It's made of the backup to the backup to the backup guys of Penske, backup crew chief. It's just all the guys that they don't want with the premier Penske team they put on this team. And you wonder, why is the 21 not performing? Maybe it's because the way that this team is built. It's built with a bunch of the guys that they don't want in the premier teams. It's on this team, and it's just a bunch of nobodies, I guess you could say. But as soon as they start running good, and let's say Austin Cindric in the 2 is running terrible, but the 21 is running great, I'm sure they're going to do some sort of flip-flop with either pit guys, crew chief, car chief. They're going to do something like that. It's going to completely mess up his development. It's going to completely mess up, anything he's got going. I mean, Jesse Love, I feel like, is a real smart driver for his age. I feel like he's smart, very high IQ when it comes to racing, and you could just tell he holds himself to a high standard. And I feel like, sure, this is probably his best spot that he could go, because it looked like he was on his way out at RCR at the end of his year regardless, and it looked like they didn't want him in the 33 because of sponsorship issues there. But to me, I just feel like he's not going to be in a stable environment, because there are going to be constant changes around him, because that's just how it's always been with the 21 team since Ryan Blaney. I just feel like if I were him, and you sign a multi-year deal, I don't know where he'd go, because there's nowhere else to go. But I mean, this is probably literally the only spot he could have landed, because it sounded like he was going to be out of the 2 with RCR regardless of the situation. And he had to go somewhere, and he wasn't probably going to go any worse seat. He's thinking, oh, well, he could probably go JGR or back to Toyota, or he go to Junior. They're all filled up over there. I mean, Junior's got like 7 guys running 4 cars, pretty much. There's a lot of guys running, between rides. So I guess you could say this is the only spot that he could logically go to in all of NASCAR that made sense for him. But to me, I just hope the Wood Brothers Racing and Penske do right by Jesse Love, because you have a talent that Ford doesn't have, that being Jesse Love. Sure, he doesn't have the high wins, the high amount of wins, the crazy dominant performances, but he's a good driver. And, I feel like if he got in the right situation, he'd be a very, very good driver, and we'd be talking about him as maybe not as high as a Corey Heim or Connor Zilisch than going into the Cup Series, but I think he'd be on that level. But we'll see how this pans out for him. Now it's just Zachary and I. Aiden had to go. He had some prior plans here this Thursday evening. So let's move on, Zachary, and talk about the award ceremony here, Top Shelf and Hangover of the Week. I'm going to go for my top shelf. I mean, you can't say anyone other than Denny Hamlin. He's been riding a heater 3 in a row. I mean, 64 career wins. He looks unbeatable right now. Obviously, he's going to get beat these next 2 weeks, but that's my top shelf. Zachary, who do you got?
Yes, so since it's only us two, that's basically you get the winner usually, and then everything else is up on the board. So I got to get him in. I got to get this thing in, obviously, because it did break just before we went on, and I shared it in our Snapchat. But I'm going to give it to Kyle Larson. Came home with a respectable 5th-place finish, and it was just revealed that he's the NASCAR 26 cover driver. So that's always good to get your brand out there, and it makes sense, okay? It does make sense. I know some people did love the fact that they put like 3 different drivers on the last one. It was like 3 different manufacturers, too, with Blaney, Bell, and Byron. But it makes perfect sense for him to get the cover. I know people wanted it to be Kyle Busch, and some people I saw wanted it to be Denny Hamlin because he's only got like 1.5 more years left, really, before he hangs it up. But it makes perfect sense for Kyle Larson to get it. He's the defending champion and well deserved, and also doesn't hurt the fact that he came on with a respectable 5th-place finish. So Kyle Larson is good last couple of days for him.
Yes, it has been a good last couple of days for him, except what I just saw on Twitter not too long ago. They had some weird-looking car that he was that he was doing burnouts. At the Naval Base Coronado over there in San Diego. But now down to the Hangover of the Week. Oh man, give me Brad Keselowski and TJ Majors, his spotter, because they have been in a lot of accidents recently, and I've consistently seen them blame everyone else but themselves. This week they decided, well, it's not so much Brad, it's more TJ. And if anyone watches DBC, they are a fan of the show for a long period of time. Everyone knows the saying TJ sucks. And yeah, it's just a funny joke and all that, but I genuinely think TJ sucks and is really dumb. I really do. Because this entire week he's been arguing on every show that he's been on, all over Twitter, that wreck at Pocono on the front stretch was Bubba's fault. And if you watch it, Bubba was nothing but an innocent guy in this wreck, and he just got turned by Joey Logano and right down in front of Brad. And he kept saying that, well, Bubba should have done this. Bubba should. If you go back and you watch, there's nothing Bubba could have done. If he slowed down, he was just going to get ran into from Joey Logano regardless. If he floored it like he did, he was going to get clipped from Joey Logano. If he stayed high, he was going to run in the back of Christopher Bell. So he was kind of in no man's land. And he kept blaming on Bubba that he got in it, but there's nothing he could do. And then each day he had like a different reasoning of why it was his fault. And it was like a different – it's like, oh, my God. Just look at Freddie Kraft's Twitter and TJ Majors' Twitter. They are going back and forth, and I honestly don't know what TJ Majors is seeing. I really don't. Zachary, I hope you back me up on this one, because if you watch it, what the hell does he want him to do?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I don't think obviously that's not Bubba's fault again because they're all just kind of going with the track and he's just kind of minding his own way and until he got obviously caught up in that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's feeling the heat a little bit. Talking about TJ because again, his car that he spots has been in wrecks for the last 3 weeks now, and now they're currently out of the chase. So he's definitely feeling that pressure a little bit. But as for the guy I'm gonna pick for hangover, I hate to kick on the little guy, but I have to because of how embarrassing it was to watch, and that's that 62 car with Beard Motorsports and Casey Mears. I know you and Bunny said that when I brought it up how Casey Mears was trying to get to 500 career starts, and how you guys thought it was like a pity participation trophy or award, whatever, to just get him there. But I did think it was a good gesture by them, obviously, to try and get him to that mark because they're the only team that was probably offering it to him. But they were slow, obviously, and it's not like they had the pressure put on them. They still let the wheel loose on the car and got 2 of their crew members suspended for 2 weeks. Now, I'm not sure how that works considering they're not running full time and everything. I think Bob talked about this on his Twitter, how he went over the situation, but they still got 2 of their crew members suspended. And again, there's no pressure at all, and yet you still did that and caused an unnecessary caution to come out. So what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? Again, field feelers like the 62 is don't make a mess. Don't make an embarrassment of yourself, man. That was an embarrassment to watch. That was really rough.
Yeah, it was rough to see. Yeah, pretty good pick there for your hangover of the week. Now let's go over to our picks and predictions for San Diego. But of course, first we're going to go back, see how we finished last week at Pocono. So last week in last place was Bunny. He had, of course, now I can't.
No,
No,
I think
last place was Aiden. My bad. Yeah, last place was Aiden. He had Joey Logano in 34th. In third was me with Alex Bowman in 27th. Thank you very much, Alex Bowman. And second was you, Zachary. Still no first place finishes with Chase Elliott at 11th. And your winner was Bunny with Eric Jones at 6th. That's who I wanted. And of course, he got him and won with him. So, yeah, Bunny's doing pretty good there. And with the first pick, Aiden, he went on a flyer here. He left the show and said he's going to change his pick to Zane Smith is his first pick. So that means I get the third pick. I've been back and forth between these two drivers, and I'm going to go with this guy. I'm going to go with, give me Connor Zilich.
All
so
right.
That means, Zachary, you're up.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, you said it. I picked Chase Elliott. And unfortunately, Alan Gustafson is still his crew chief again sometimes, and it sometimes doesn't work out. He didn't keep up with the track and sent his car back to 11th place because he was right there with Eric Jones, really neck and neck. Really, I felt like, but unfortunately, again, he didn't stay up with the track, fell back, and Eric Jones stayed with it a little bit and finished 6th. So another week goes by where I don't win, unfortunately. So these next 2 weeks are an opportunity. I still have one bullet left in the chamber, obviously, because I haven't picked him yet. But since this is brand new, I want to leave him off for another week because I know I can pick him next week and no one else can. So I'm going to save him for Sonoma. So you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I got a couple guys I'm running through my mind here. And because, this is one of his, again, he's only good on a select few of tracks. I think I'm going to go with him. Give me Michael McDowell.
Well, Zachary, so you said no one else could pick him. I hate to inform you, but Bunny can pick him this week. And Bunny is picking SVG this week. So you could have had the win here.
Well, I meant I figured that's the other guy was going to pick him for this, so I can save him for next week.
All right, you could save him for next week, but you could have had him this week. I mean, I think there's a good chance that SVG can win by 30 seconds this week. I mean, he's
there is. There is. It's just that again, like I think it is still brand new because someone could get him into him on a restart or something like that. Because there are 2 like stage cautions, which hopefully, by the way, PS to NASCAR, I hope those don't drag and drag and drag because they really are going to be. It's a really long course here, but it's brand new still, and I felt like a more sure thing is for me to pick him next week. So I'm fine with giving. I'm fine with giving him that.
All right, yeah, no, I get it. For me, now we can move into their predictions here. I feel like this is gonna be such a new track. I mean, obviously, it is very new. I've been looking over Twitter. They're doing the track walk now. There is a lot of ruts, a lot of bumps, a lot of character to this quote unquote track, if you will. And there's a lot of blind turns, a lot of issues. I just think this race is gonna be chaos. It's gonna be absolute pandemonium. There's spaces in this racetrack where it's extremely narrow, where they have the choose cone, the choose line. Oh my god, dude, you got to see how narrow the track where they put it. I guarantee you, the over under on cars hitting the choose box will be like 5 or 10, because I'm telling you, there's gonna be so many cars that hit that choose box. Just look it up on Twitter. It's crazy. There's spots where it's like 2 cars narrow, but you can only really fit 1 if you're really trying to make a lap. And then there's spots where it's like a giant parking lot and you can fit like 10, 12 wide, but there's only 1 lane you really need to take here. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be crazy. To me, I also feel like what's crazy too is that we have Kevin Magnussen, former F1 driver, that's also making his start here. The last time we saw, a guy of that caliber make his first start at a street course, or in this situation on a naval air base, was SVG, and he ended up winning the damn thing because it's so new. I feel like SVG is going to absolutely dominate this race. I really do believe it. I feel like Connor Zilch is going to be up there. You're going to see you're going to see Michael McDowell. You mentioned him. He's going to be up there. I feel like Tyler Reddick's going to be up there, but at the same time, I just don't know. I mean, there's so many unknowns with this. To me, I just wouldn't check the point standings until after these next 2 races, because you're not going to know a damn thing. Because I feel like the point standings are going to be completely upside down after these next 2 weeks. You look at the guys on the bubble; none of them are really good road coursers. The only good one in there, you could say Austin Cindric. He came in as this road course ringer, if you will, but he's been atrocious at road courses since he got into the Cup Series. Bubba Wallace, he's been bad. He always jokes about it, but he's been pretty solid, a top 15 guy at road courses, unless he gets taken out by a guy named John Henry Nemechek. But so you look at this. Eric Jones, who's now on the rise, terrible at road courses. These next 2 races, and especially this race, is just going to be pandemonium. It's going to be crazy. I just don't know what's going to be. How about you, Zachary?
Yeah, you can't really like scale or have like high or low, because this is just something that's completely out of the blue. Really, well, not out of the blue. They announced that they were going here, but it's a brand new course, and yeah, I had not looked at the choose cone. I just looked it up on Twitter. Yeah, you are right. It is very narrow in the spot that they put it. So you might be right that there are going to be some cars that run over that. Yeah, it's like I looked at the layout of it. It's like 15 turns, and that doesn't even include like the chicane that's coming in like before the start finish line. So yeah, a lot of turns, and it's very long, and it's going to be very challenging too, because like you said, there's a lot of bumps and other such parts of the track that you just couldn't really mess with again, because this is, I think, the thing that most should get behind or should get to know about this course is that it's built around a naval air base, right? Which is supposed to obviously help defense, where they shield like helicopters and such, and that's that type of thing, military stuff. Okay, and there's certain parts of that track that you just really can't mess with, because again, it violates that part of the what was originally the part of the purpose, obviously. So it should be fun, should be exciting to watch, because it is going to be a very big challenge, because SVG himself even said, again, the sim is It's only a simulation again. It's only a simulator. But when he was driving on there, he even crashed. He's been an absolute god in these type of tracks. Again, they went to Chicago and he won 2 of the 3 races there. So if he's crashing, this is going to be very challenging for some of these other drivers. I can only imagine Noah Gragson hitting every corner of this track because he did so at Chicago as well. But yeah, it should be exciting to watch, and it's going to be a brand new challenge. I'm looking forward to it. Could it be a shit show? Potentially, but is it going to be entertaining? Yes.
I mean, it's going to be a shit show. I guarantee you. I guarantee you it's going to be a shit show, Zachary. Well, that was our predictions. Normally, this is where we go guess the driver. But it's just me and you. So, do you want to do guess the driver? I mean, you prepared for it. Might as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been holding the guy I've been holding him for 2 weeks now because, again, like last week I did driver spotlight with Ned Jarrett. So this week I feel like, unfortunately, I gotta put it out there because I've held this driver for 2 weeks too long, really, and there's a lot of drivers we got to get to after this. So, all right, I gotta pull it up here. All right, got it. All right. So, of course, starting it off, this driver was born in Peachtree City, Georgia. This driver started his racing career at age 6 when he began racing quarter midgets. He won the national championship the following year. That was in 97. He started in 96. Okay. Championship in 97. He moved up to Legends Cars. He won 13 out of the 25 races that he ran that following year in 98. He broke numerous track records along with that as well. He continued to race in that series for additional 2 more years where he won 84 events. That's right. He won 84 times. That's a lot. He's made the switch over to asphalt racing beginning in 2002, full-time in 2003, and he did that by joining the American Speed Association, which is still a series around, but it's not obviously it's not like as well known as some of these others. Like the Cars Tour is more well known, but this is still around, okay? And that's when he joined asphalt, okay? He won the Rookie of the Year in this series, and he impressed so much that he caught the attention of Chip Ganassi and got a driver development contract. This driver began Busch Series racing in 2005. It's either 2004 or 2005, actually, but one of those years. But anyways, that's besides the point. He finished in 4th place in his first year. Came home second, though, in the Rookie of the Year behind Carl Edwards.
Keep looking like you think I'm gonna get it. I could tell you think I'm really close, but I'm not. I had a guess, but not with. Nope, he's not from Missouri.
Yeah, no. This driver struggled mightily, however, when he transitioned to Cup Series racing.
Oh, got it.
Okay, who is
Reed
it?
Sorensen.
That is correct.
Boom! Yeah. I got it.
I had some other clues. You want me to read them?
Yeah, go for it.
I had several. This driver now spots for several different drivers now after his racing career ended. He does do spotter. I didn't know. I did research that and found that out. And another one I had is he's best known for driving the 41 Target car, as well as when he was in the Nationwide Series afterwards. After his Cup days were over, he drove the $32 General car with Braun Racing. So those are some of the clues I had left. And, the reason why I picked Reed Sorensen, if you want to know, is because while I wasn't fully invested, obviously, in his racing career and whatnot, I saw him on the Dale Jr. download. I listened to it. Very interesting. Listen, he kind of got stink bit by not really injuries, but just being unfortunate in the wrong place at the wrong time because he was racing for the championship. He was competing for the championship in the Nationwide Series until that team shut down. Talking about Braun Racing. He had 4 races left to go. He's top 3 in points, but he had to shut down. And unfortunately, after that, he never could find another solid ride. And, he's just an interesting driver, had some potential. Obviously, he's one of those drivers that, you look across. He had talent, but he never could fully harness it. And unfortunately, when he got to Cup, he just really struggled. But he still won 4 times in the O'Reilly Series, Nationwide Series, whatever. And, he's still around till this day. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got it as soon as he just said he got to Cup and struggled mightily. I was like, oh, that's Reed Sorensen. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, Chip Ganassi guys at that time. And then, like, so my first guess, when you said Peachtree, Georgia, I had 2 guesses. It was Austin Hill and it was, what's his name? 38 in the truck series. Why am I blanking on his name? I think he's actually from Peachtree, Georgia.
Yeah, I can see him.
Oh, what is his name? I'm
looking it up.
Yeah, why am I blanking on it? He used to be like an up and coming talent, and then he kind of.
Is this Chandler Smith?
Chandler Smith, yeah, isn't he from Peachtree, Georgia?
Let's see.
I'm like, there's another driver from Peachtree, Georgia.
He is not from Peachtree, Georgia. He's from
right,
he's from Talking Rock, Georgia.
All right, well, way off, but yeah. Oh, we're getting a phone call mid podcast here from Aiden. Do I dare take it during the show?
Maybe he's listening.
Topic should I start off with?
All right, Aiden. Yes, we just did guess the driver. You are live. You are right here, right now. The driver was Reed Sorensen, and I got it at like the 4th guess.
Oh, nice. Really, Reed Sorensen? I feel like I could have got Reed Sorensen.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
One of the guesses, like he got a top 5 in the 08 Daytona 500.
No.
He did.
It was not.
It was not that. He's from Peachtree, Georgia. Ran ASA. Won 84 times in Legends
cars.
And then
he got a Chip Ganassi. He got a Chip Ganassi driver development deal. And I said, like, he's best known for driving the 41 Target car, which might have given it away.
I got it when
right there. Yeah.
I got it when he said he got to Cup and he struggled mightily, and I was like, Reed Sorensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, guess what? So I was gonna go and film a basketball game. I got here, realized he said 8:55 a.m., not p.m. So now I look stupid.
Oh wow, anyway. This guy left the show for no reason.
I did. I literally did. Yeah.
Oh.
He got my pick in though. He got my pick in.
Yeah, right? you got Zane Smith.
Yep.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm changing it up. Let's go with Zane Smith. And we're saving Allmendinger for a different day. I'm not going to tell you which day that will be, but a different day.
He's saving him for next week, guys.
Bunny probably is going to win. Because SVG.
Right.
I didn't take SVG.
So. I should have a take on. Who want to hear my take on?
No, we're about to end the show here, Aiden.
All right.
All right.
I'll let you go.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
All right, Zachary, you were saying?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a good driver to do. And otherwise, yeah, this has been a fun show. I know we haven't been we really got cut in half. Really shouldn't have been, because apparently Aiden's a dumbass and left. But hey, it's been fun. Yeah, it's been a fun show. Abbreviated show. The show's kind of been all over the place tonight. Getting the phone call from in there, him saying the game wasn't today, it was tomorrow or whatever. Yeah, that's Aiden for you guys. But yeah, it's been a great show. Love talking NASCAR with all you guys. We will be back next week, obviously talking all things San Diego, reacting to what this race might be and what it could be. And then get you ready for Sonoma, which is likely going to be yet another SVG win. Zachary, is there any last second things you want to add here? Yes. If there happens to be a crash somewhere in one of those narrower corners, we might see cars get under one another because they're gonna have to. Well, maybe not because they have to. They're not gonna be going that fast, but still, it's such a sharp breaking point, honestly, that you could see some cars get underneath each other. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully not, but again, maybe.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, me with everyone else, we had no idea what we're gonna expect here. It's gonna be a crazy race. It's gonna be a cluster. It's gonna be crazy, and looking forward to watching it. Just, I'm totally gonna be stressed out as a Bubba fan watching this thing because he's not the greatest when it comes to road courses. You throw in a street course, a course like this, there's no telling what's gonna happen here. So anyway, that's gonna be all from us tonight here from Moonshiners Racing, presented by Depot Street Sports. I'm your host, Michael Rizzo. Aiden was with us, and then this is Zachary Kendall. We'll see you guys all next week. Thank you and have a good night.